like man. I quite like it indeed. So how you doing, guys? So here in the UK, we're a bit regulated on what we can do along the lines of props for our little costumey things. Replica firearms aren't a great thing. Even if you've got the orange caps on the end to make them look like imitation, all that sort of stuff, everything's just a bit too regulated. You know, you walk down the street, you go to jail. You get caught with one in your own home, you go to jail. You know, there's big fines, there's big things to stop you having these sort of things, and I've got absolutely no interest in getting into that sort of trouble with the police. I don't want any trouble whatsoever. So we're a bit limited, yeah. So I've got axes, I've got myself a sword. You know, I mean, I was a blacksmith for a number of years, so I knew the regulations around that. So I've followed all of those. So I've got a sword, I've got axes, as I say. I've got all those sort of hand weapons. Absolutely nothing for range. So I've been playing around with the idea of what I could have. You know, if you're in some sort of post-apocalyptic situation, you're going to need to hunt, you're going to need to defend yourself, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so the best thing that I've came up with is a bow. Yeah, you're allowed sporting apparatus, you're allowed bows, you don't need a license for them, you don't get told off for them, you know. And honestly, I had a go when I was a kid. It was quite fun. Yeah, I was up at a castle in the local area. I went up to a castle with my mum. She paid a couple of quid. I got to shoot a bow at a target for a little bit. Yeah, it was very fun. So it's something that I'd maybe looking to giving a go, but for the purpose of having a prop for me stuff, I want to make myself a bow. You might be wondering why I've got an old bicycle tyre. Yeah, so in the apocalypse, I'm not assuming. I'm assuming that there's not going to be these lush green trees for getting myself some wood. And honestly, I have absolutely no interest in going out and finding all the right wood and shaving a bit of wood for however many days to make myself a wooden bow. That's just going to look pristine and nice, and I wouldn't want to age it. And if I'd done that much work on something, I'd want it to look nice and pristine and stuff, for it to snap when I first shoot it. Yeah, so going with what I know, let's use metal. Yeah, so scavenged materials is what I excel at, because I've got a lot of stuff to scavenge. So I've got myself a bicycle wheel. Yeah, I've got my bin full of all the offcuts of square tube, round tube, all sorts of bar, all sorts of bits. Yeah, I've got lots of square tube that was left over from making the frame of this little welding canopy. Yeah, I've got all sorts of stuff. So I've been looking in my bin and I've got a few things. And I sourced myself a couple of wheels, yeah, so I'm going to make myself a compound bow. I've got these wheels, these are going to be at the end of the bow, so that these turn. I don't know if you know about compound bows. I don't know too much myself. I've looked at pictures on the internet and sort of figured out how they work. So I've got myself some wheels. I've got the original little, I don't know what I call them, axles, the little bolts that held these onto the scooter that were off. I don't know. But I've got those, they're really good. Those will stretch out to quite a size. So I'm going to use those. I've got a handful of nuts and bolts that I've been lucky enough to find. I am still waiting on placing an order for lots of nuts and bolts. Hopefully I can get myself a little crate, a little stash with loads of nuts and bolts in. It'll be beautiful. Yeah, but for now, I need to get the spokes out of here. I need to get the tyre off. Obviously this will come out when the spokes are off. Easiest option to get them off, angle grinder. So I'm just going to cut them tight in against the nut, so that I keep all the spokes. Maybe they'll come in useful at a future time. But mainly what my idea is they are attached quite well here and quite well here. So if I cut them off here, all the little bits will stay on this centre spindle or whatever you call it. And all the outer bits I'll just be able to poke out. Happy days. Yeah. So this is going to make up the arms of the bow. I should have researched bow terminology before I filmed this, but I haven't been bothered. Yeah. But you know, I'll have me handle and the arms or the legs or the reach or the body of the bow. I have no idea. I'm going to go with arms of the bow. This will make up the arms of the bow. Yeah, and I'll sort out a handle out of me scrap bin. Happy days. what I've done is I've taken a bit of rope, wrapped it around and measured it, which was 69 inches, which, you know, you might get a giggle out of, I've no idea. So quarter of that, because I'm on 4 bits out of this gear wheel, is 17.25, yeah? So I measured myself 17.25 of my bit of rope, inches, 17.25 inches. I marked myself a centre point, which is where the valve came through. So I'll cut there because I don't want the valve in the middle of the bone, making it a bit weaker. Yeah, so cut through there, measure it round to a quarter mark with 17.25 inches. Put a mark, I'll actually thicken that line up a little bit. Sorry, my neighbour's doing some work. Brought it around to find the halfway mark from the original, brought it around to the 3/4 mark and matched it up. So it is 17.25, my measurements worked out and everything worked out correctly. So I'll be using my angle grinder, cutting through, and we'll have go-ons. So none of my bolts are going to be long enough to go through both 2 of these and the wheel. Yeah, and honestly that seems like a bit of an extreme width to have my first bow. Yeah, so I'm going to cut one of these in half. Yeah, so I think if I cut it in half and then cut another one in half, I'll have my 2 bits out of 2. At which point I might be able to do something funky with the remaining 2 for a handle. If not, I could make 2 other things, yeah? Maybe someone watching this would quite like a little bow and do some bow hunting. I mean, we can't go hunting with bows, but, you know, you could always whack a target in your garden and pretend that you're bow hunting. So I'll do that, and hopefully everything will work out. If not, I'll just have to use another bike wheel. If I fail, all I'm down is one scrap bike wheel that I got for free years ago and sat in my garden for ages. Let's do it. So my full hole's going to have to be 8mm big, yeah, for every bolt that I'm going to be using on the thing, yeah. So I've rigged myself up with a 4mm bit, at which point I'll then be able to go up to the 8mm, because honestly this is 12mm thick, so I'm only leaving myself 2mm on either side, which isn't going to be perfect, but it's what I've got to do, yeah. So I'm going to be putting myself a little pilot hole in to make sure that I drill it perfectly safe. I don't want 3mm on one side and 1mm on the other, because that 1mm will just tear away as soon as I try and draw the thing. So I'm going to drill this out. I'm not going to show you as drilling. Each one has to have 3 holes drilled into it, and I've got 4 of them, yeah. So I'm not going to sit there and make you watch it all. So I'm going to drill this one, and then I'll just do all the other ones off camera and come back to you with the finished results. Hopefully everything goes well. If something does go wrong on one of them, thankfully I've still got half a wheel sat here, which I'm not actually going to be using. I might use it, I might not use it, yeah. As it stands, I quite like this bit of steel. So I've got this square tube, which is the same thing my shed frame's made out of, and I quite like the way that it feels. I like the way that it holds. I like everything about it. I can see myself shooting something holding this. Yeah, a target, not a person, not an animal. A target. I'll shoot a target with it. Yeah, but who knows? Maybe I'll use something else. Maybe I won't. That's my pilot hole in. Load up the bigger one. I'm just going to make sure that that's centre. It looks perfectly good. Let's use a one where I can actually see where I am. 6. Yeah, that's right. This should go through perfectly fine, not a problem. So, due to the profile on this thing, yeah, the fact I'm drilling through this section, up through this, is causing us a bit of bother, you know. This drill's a very cheap drill, and that's why I use it. I use it on steel because it's a very slow drill, and if it breaks, it's a very cheap drill to replace. I do have a better drill, so I'm going to go and get that, and this one can just take a 5-minute break. So for starting it, it's perfect. You know, maybe I'll just use it to drill the pilot holes and to get through the main body of this outer aluminium. Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing with the type of drill bits, the calibre, the class of drill bits that I'm using, that I can't drill through a bit of aluminium. Yeah, but it is what it is. It just gets stuck. It's just a bit old and a bit too cheap. Through it like butter. So that's what we want. Make sure everything lines up. I've got 2 mil on either side. Everything's great. Hunky dory, perfect. Yeah. So that's the first end hole of 4 drilled. Going to do all the others. I'll come back when I do the rest. So I've got the first holes in, had a play around and can get the wheels on. So they all move perfectly fine. I've had to have a play around with a few different types of washers to ensure that it spins just fine. The original axles are doing their job perfectly. I don't have to change them out, which is a relief. So I'd struggle to. Yeah, but here we go. This is going to be the main arm of the bow. Handle getting introduced. And you just have to imagine that the bolts are in here, keeping everything straight. Yeah, so this is going to be to about here, I'd imagine. So we've got a bow arm. Yeah, so you can imagine it fully extended up to here. And for the spring, yeah, because I'm going to be putting a spring in here, I've just got these old trampoline springs. Yeah, so I put a word out on Facebook saying that I needed some. Had a word around, got someone in touch that's got some. So here we go, all ready to go. So I've had a play around with the arms of the bow there. I'm going to stick with arms. And I've had a play around with the handle. Yeah, so this is definitely going to be the handle. Everything seems like it's going to work out just fine. Yeah, so I need to pop the holes in this to be able to attach the arms. Yeah, so I've got a couple of bolts. I've got this one and I've got another one lying around up there somewhere. They're going to be the bolts that's going to hold the arms to the handle of the bow. Yeah, so I've got to find dead center of this piece. 2 times, 1 top, 1 bottom. Put a little pilot hole in with the battery drill. Chew through it with the power drill. And I'll be able to get these bolted on. So I'm just marking up the center point on this. easiest way, I found the exact line that I want it, the depth, how far down the bow I want it. It's exactly 2.5, so just get the tape measure out, place this 1.25, the exact centre of this. Give it a tap. Now that I've got the little tap, give it a few heavy taps and it's ready to drill. Little glob of cutting fluid. And there we have it. Yeah, so I'd already done one side, so who knows if you can pick that up. Yeah, hold all the way through it. So I'll match it on the bottom and get ready. So I'm sat here with my handle and I've drilled some holes. Yeah, 9 centimeters from the where it's going to be mounted, which works out for these at the distance that I need for the springs to be attached. Yeah? So the springs are attached, then I need to eyeball up. I mean, I could use that for a guide for where this would sit. Yeah, and then as you tighten it, the spring, as you draw, this part comes down, this part goes up because it's going to be hinged here. I mean, I'm doing that the wrong way. It's going to be here because this is where the wheel's going to be. Yeah, so just need to work out where to pop the hole through this to bolt this on for where this is going to match up, and when it pulls, just open that spring. Yeah, just open that spring. There's going to be one on either side, so I'm going to have the double on the front, double on the back, and it's going to be great. Yeah, so I've marked up this one. I just popped the part of the bolt through there where the wheel goes, and I've marked it up. Yeah, so I'm ready to pop the holes in here, ready to receive the bolt, which I put over there. Yeah, so the bolt go through these, through this, and then the bow's nearly done. Yeah, all I need to do is cut a groove into this rubber. Yeah, and once that's done, the bow's done, which is happy. It's a happy day. It's a happy time to be alive. It's when the bow's going to be done. I have no arrows, which is then probably the next project is going to be getting something to make into arrows, or just buy some arrows online. There's a sporting goods shop in Blythe. I've no idea if it's going to be open, but I can pop into town, see if it's open. If it's open, buy a few arrows. If not, make some arrows. Yeah, Apocalypse, they're not just going to have arrows that they've bought at a sporting goods shop. Yeah, I might get a arrow to check how it actually works, see if my bow even works with a real arrow, then improvise and make my own arrows based on that. I don't know what the idea is. I've just got a rough idea. I've got a little bit of a concept. I'll get these drilled. Happy days. So I've drilled all my little pilot holes for where the bolt is going to go for attaching the arms to the boat. So I've got all 4 of them marked out. The pilot holes are all drilled, each and every single one of them. I'm going to drill through it with the big 8mm bit, which is the size of the bolts that's going through. On these ones, I've kept it tight out of the rim, because I've figured if I've only got a 1mm gap on the inside here, that's fine, because I've got all of this meat to keep it strong. I can have a 3mm gap on the outside, where it's literally only got the rim to keep it on. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't do this to start with. If I do have any problems with this little 2mm gap on this section where the wheels are going to go, I've got more wheels. I've still got half of the original wheel that I'm using here today. Yeah, so I'll be able to change it. Just as I've moved on, I've realised there's a better way to do this. It does leave me with this very small draw section, but it's a compact bow. Yeah, it's a compound bow, which means it can be compact. I've decided. Yeah, it's happening. So I'm going to drill these. Be happy. I do believe I'll wear a glove for this though, because you know, I don't want this jumping out and taking my finger off. That's one. Two. Three. So that's all my holes drilled. The only holes that are remaining to drill is where the springs are going to attach to the end of the arms. Yeah, so I might as well just get that done now, and I'll be able to get me bow assembled. Then all that's left, as I've said many times, is grinding this. I'm leaving this to last because it is going to be the least pleasurable job of the entire enterprise. Yeah, I'm not going to enjoy grinding rubber. It's just not going to be a fun day for me. So I have absolutely no idea if this is going to work. Yeah, if it does work, I don't know what the process is going to be like. If the process is going to be alright, I have no idea what's going to come flying off this or anything. So I'm going to take a grinding disc on my angle grinder, and I'm going to grind into this rubber. I'm assuming it's rubber. It feels like rubber. It looks like rubber. But there's a lot of unknowns, yeah, and with unknowns always comes a little risk of danger. So I've got all my safety equipment on, I've got my goggles, glasses, I've got my safety glasses, so my eyes are going to be fine, I've got my gloves, and I'm fully covered. Yeah, I'm fully covered, except for my face, but I'm going to trust that nothing's going to happen to my pretty face. Yeah, so I'm going to get this going, grind this in, and just fingers crossed that it works. Yeah, there's always going to be an element where you don't actually know what the outcome's going to be. In some things that you do, yeah, a lot of things are predictable, a lot of things are very controllable. This is just that little bit in between where we're just going to see what happens. It's like I've been attacked by a spider, man, but it's worked quite well. Yeah, so I've got a groove running all the way through it, and just hopefully all of this stuff will come off quite easily. Yeah, so there's going to be a bit of clean-up, but there's always going to be a clean-up when you're playing with rubber. But honestly, couldn't ask for a better result. Yeah, so that's nice and straight, and hopefully, let's give it a go, it'll keep my rope, quite simple. So that should work fine. So yeah, I'm pleased with the outcome. So I'll get this done to the other one. I'll come back to you when I'm assembling the bow. Take 2. Yeah, I ran into some trouble assembling the bow the way that I assumed that I should be assembling it. Yeah, so now I'm just coming at it with a new perspective. At first I'd attached the wheels, then I attached it to the handle, and I tried to attach this to the springs, and honestly getting the springs through these tiny holes whilst everything's rigid and in place was a nightmare. So I'm hoping that just doing it this way now will make life easier. Yeah, so I've got this attached to the springs, as you can see. We're going to pop our big bolt through here with a washer through the width of the handle, and a washer facing the smooth side in towards the handle should be the best. Popping it through and just tightening this by finger, just finger tight, because I don't want to have to take this off if I've went in and used a spanner and got this all tight and perfect. Yeah, just getting that out of there. So straight away you can see that this is going to be part of the bow. It's got a bit of pull strength, which is what you want. Next I'm going to take the female section of my little axle. Just pop that through, pop a washer onto it. How do I want this to look? Pulling back, yeah. So I was saying in the first section as I came through, that if there's a cool way to do something, do it the cool way. Yeah, as long as you're not like sacrificing safety or anything like that, or actual purpose. If you can make it look cool, you've got 2 options and they're exactly the same in every aspect other than one's cool and one's not. Go with the cool one. So this bearing's just a little out of line, so it's giving us a bit of trouble. Pop that on. Yeah, so now we'll take the male section of this screw, bolt, axle, one of them, pop that through here with a washer on it. Now we're going to assemble that together. So both sides are the same sized Allen keys. Thankfully, all of my Allen keys weren't at home. But thankfully, the thankful part is I did have these two lying loose in the shed. And they happen to be the perfect size. Yeah, so just check that still moves freely. There we go. Happy days. So half the boat is assembled. That's quite nice. Now then, we'll assemble the other side. So I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to be using to make the arrow. Yeah, I've got rebar, but I think it'll be too heavy. I've got willow. I'm going to say that it's willow. I'm not 100% sure that it's willow, but I think it's willow. And it's a bit too winky wobbly. Yeah, now I know you can steam wood to straighten it out. So I might steam wood and straighten it out, but I don't want to. Yeah, so I'm going to be having a think about what I can use that would be available in the apocalypse to make myself a arrow. Yeah, I'm thinking fiberglass tubes maybe, or pool cue. I could shave down pool cues, and that would be a plausible source of a wood shafted arrow. I don't have any steel around the right size or length to use it. I do have some tubing, some steel tubing. It will be light enough as long as you capped off the front and the back. It would be aerodynamic enough. It would keep the weight down, definitely 100%. Attaching arrowhead would be simple enough, especially since it's starting out as tube already. And adding flights. I'm not sure what I would use as flights in the apocalypse. Maybe sections of a DVD box, you know, that plastic. Maybe that's what they'd use, and a bit of glue. I'm not too sure. I'll have a play around with it. As I've said, I know absolutely nothing about archery, so there's probably people watching, looking at this, thinking that's wrong straight away from the get-go. But if it's useless as a bow, I'll just have to revisit and redesign it. You know, make tweaks, make adaptations of this. Use this as a learning tool. Yeah, because this hasn't got to be perfect straight off. It's the first time I've made one. If it doesn't work, try and figure out a new way. When I started blacksmithing, I started blacksmithing as a hobby. And the first thing that I wanted to make was a pair of tongs to make my life easier, which was a sensible thing. And I refused to Google how to make a pair of tongs. You know, I didn't think it was going to be. It's not the way I learn. You know, I can learn that way. It's not the way I wanted to learn blacksmithing. So I tried and I failed. I failed a lot, you know, and it took us well over a month. You know, I couldn't blacksmith every day. When I did, I'd fail. I'd make a mistake on this bit or that bit. I wouldn't understand how I was supposed to move the metal. So I'd have to redo it. But in the end, I ended up with a functional pair of tongs, which I still use to this day. Yeah. And the beauty of that was I learned a lot of ways not to make a pair of tongs. Sure, it would have been great if I could have just set about on day one and made a pair of tongs that worked. Would have been fantastic. But life didn't work out that way for me at that point in my life. Nothing worked out first time. So I just took it as a learning opportunity to figure it out. I'm trying to make sure that this matches up the way that it's going to pull in. I've dropped my washer. Where's my washer? The washer's run away. Dropping things. I'm not doing another take. I'm 6.5 minutes of assembling a boat. I'm not going to take it apart, just to redo it. No idea what I was talking about though. But anyway, pair of tongs. Make sure this is going the right way. That was it. So this pulls up, it's going backwards. This will pull down, going backwards. There you go. That's the way. I like it. give it a tap, little persuasion, and everything works out fine, just fine. So the last bolt, I dropped another one. Aha! I found this one though. It's the problem, I'm working on something semi-big in comparison to my bench. The bit that I'm working on is hanging off the bench, so if I drop something it goes on the floor. And there's so much stuff on the floor. I really need to sweep up, but you know, I'm lazy. And it's nothing dangerous, you know, I haven't got sawdust or aluminium and steel mixing to make thermite or anything, you know, I've just got bits and bobs, offcuts of steel. And honestly, I'm not worried about my boots. So there we have that. So we've got this. This is where we're up to, yeah? You can see it bouncing. It's not got that great resistance, but you know they are only trampoline springs. I'm assuming I can get it back to here. So which way? That's the action. Yeah, that's the action. That's what we're after. So we're getting a bit of rope. Now from what I've seen, I want to be attempting to attach this to here. I want to cross. It needs to cross, yeah? So that'll come from here to here. This bit coming up and around. Aha, that's how we'll do it. So this is on here, this is on here. This comes through here. So I might put a bolt through the middle there. That'll be tricky since I haven't got any bolts left, but I'll attach this to here somehow. Do I just tie it on? I don't know. And this comes round and in. How much do I need? Loudness noise. That's just laziness. How do you cut your rope down? I've got an angle grinder. I've got an angle grinder handy and I know how to use it. And this round this. Crossing over. So this is what we're looking for. Yeah, I think. Don't know if attaching it down here is the right thing. Or up here. I'm going to try just tying it to the handle. That's what I'm going to do. I'm attempting to just tie it to the handle. I can't tie it to the handle because it'll just slide down. Get in the way of the springs. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. What can go wrong? Yeah. Someone out there is watching this going, a lot of things can go wrong there. A lot of things. I do not know where my tape is. I had tape. I'll stop it. I'll come back with tape. Tape. It was exactly where I thought it was, which is about 2 foot that way. But I didn't want to chance it. I didn't want to chance it and have to do a lot of editing. So I'm my own worst enemy because now I'm going to have to edit those 2 clips together. I'm just going to tape this off for now. Obviously it's not going to be the finished product because the tape would just let go and I wouldn't shoot anything. But just for the purpose of testing it, tie that there. Bring this one round here. Tape it up. Tape it up. I quite like the look of this tape on it, you know, this tape might stay. I will obviously be securing it in a better fashion, but this tape may appear on the bow. It works, I don't know why it works, it just works. So there we go. This is far too long, if the rope is far too long. I'm assuming all of this is supposed to be tight, which is what will keep it on my wheels. If the wheels were in fact going to work. It falls off. I need less rope. In reality, I may have to grind a bit more into that those wheels, which is what I'm thinking. Or use something different than this rope, you know, maybe I've got some string lying around, or something else that's a bit better fitted to staying attached where it is. So if I bring this round here, and on this wheel, it isn't straight. I need to tighten the bolts to actually straighten the bow out. It's a bit wonky. But you get the idea. This is it. Bow. And then it falls off because, you know, it's not right. It's not right. There's people who know archery that's going to watch this and just cringe that this bloke is saying that he's made a bow when it doesn't actually work. But you know, give it a go. This you may already know. This video, if I actually release this video, if this never works, I might never release this video. But if this kind of works, even if it doesn't work, I might release the video and just title it "How Not to Make a Bow." How to fail at making a bow. Yeah. Tape it up. You got to tape it up. And this obviously will be cut off. I mean, I don't like that. I don't like that my drawstring falls off when I shoot it. Maybe that's the fact that it's uneven, not in line. But that'll all fix up when I tighten this right up. And this one's pretty straight. This one's straight. It should fix itself. But there you go. Yeah, the concept is there. Even if it falls off. I'm going to come back. I'm going to go find another string. I'm going to find something else to use as a drawstring, and I'll come back to you because this ain't working. It's not right. So then, I've had to play around with a few different materials. You know, I had this rope that I was going to use, and that didn't work out too great. Kept falling off. I've changed where I tie the string off. I'm possibly going to be putting bolts through to tie the string off on. So as it stands, this is it. Yeah, so you can see I've just tied the drawstring off against here. That's where a couple of the little knocks from where the spokes of the wheel used to be. So I've tied them just off on there, so that should just keep them right in place. There's not a great deal of tension on them to make them move, you know. But yeah, I've got a bow. I did have a very small rudimentary attempt at arrow making. Yeah, so this is literally, I don't know why I didn't film it, so I think it's hilarious. Where did it go? It's in here. It was a gardening fork that's been knocking about for absolutely ages. Yeah, so I just took my grinder to it and I cut the other two off. I can't find them. I don't know where they are, for the life of us. They're not here. There we go. So it was just a gardening fork. Yeah, so I took the middle one. I mean, the end ones will probably make arrow hits as well. But yeah, I am not an arrow maker. I'm not a Fletcher. Yeah, but this was me go. I mean, it's not even a straight arrow, but this is the straightest shaft that I could find. My housemate bought this ages ago for something or other. None of them are particularly actually straight. This was the straightest, you know. So I just took the grinder with a cutting disc and cut myself a little knock in. I don't know how visible that is. There we go. Just a little knock to be able to knock my arrow. I cut a larger one but thinner down to here to attach this into, and I just gave it a quick hit with a flappy disc to sharpen it up. But I have a bow and arrow now, you know, and it doesn't work great when I draw and I fire it falls off the wheels, so I don't know if I need to cut deeper on the wheels. I'm thinking maybe it's a bit wide for the string that I've ended up using, and they're not perfectly aligned because this is bending just a little tiny bit. It's not bending as in like, oh, I'm doing what I want. It's just curved out that little bit. I don't know when it's when I cut the bike wheel. It's just sprung that little bit. No idea. Yeah, but it's not perfect. But for the purposes of a prop for my apocalypse, I think it's quite good. I quite like it, yeah. So I've got a nice strong fence against this here. So we'll just take it out. Yeah, so as you can see, it all just falls to bits. It's not really hard to rearm, if that's the word. Restring it, rearm it. One of them, both of them fit, I think. But yeah, so I have a bow. I'm just laughing. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's just funny. Yeah, but the bow and arrow, free, absolutely free. Yeah, I didn't pay for a single bit of this. It works to a degree. I'm thinking if I cut those grooves deeper, just give it those few tweaks to get it all just aligned and nice and straight. I'm thinking I might have to put a bar across here, maybe a clamp on it. I'm not too sure. Maybe this is the weak part. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what a bow needs to work, and I don't know which bit's going wrong. But yeah, I might stick this video around a few groups. If this is an archery group, or if this is an apocalypse group, or if this is just a group with some smart people in, and I've posted this, please, Mr. Admin, please let it stay, because I need help. You know, I need your people, I need your members to watch this and go, damn, this is what you've done wrong. This is all you need to do. Does this need to be steady and perfect? Does my groove need to be a bit bigger? You know, do these need to be smaller? Do I need to put a guard on it? I mean, I couldn't. I don't know. What's going wrong? Is it the string? It's not stretchy string. It's very sturdy. It doesn't stretch much. I tied it off against the side of the shed and I pulled and I didn't move further back. So it's a strong string. It's not too stretchy. Do I need more tension? You know, should this be really tight? I mean, I do have it so that it is compressing a bit. And my spring's not strong enough. Yeah. Would one spring do? What's the crack? And you know, if you know, please pass it on. Because if you know and I can fix this, then if anyone ever asks us, can you make a compound bow, I can say yes, but watch out for this. Yeah. But for what it's worth, you know, I mean, the arrow doesn't fly straight. It doesn't go where I aim. It wibbles and wobbles. I know that it would need a flight, and the shaft would need to be perfectly straight, and this would need to be balanced. I know those things. I just know that I can't do those things right now today. I will have a play around for better arrows, and I might update you, you know. Maybe I'll just put it on my Instagram, you know. Literally, I have 2 followers on Instagram with the pictures. It's vlads.adventures or vlad.adventures. It's one of them. I'll put it in the description. Yeah, vlad.adventures. As I figure out what's happening with this, I'll update you there. I don't want to make a video saying, look at the little tiny updates that I've made on it. Yeah, it's not what the channel's about. Tiny updates aren't getting their time. Yeah, so I'll whack it on my Instagram. I've got a Facebook page, Vlad's Adventures. Yeah, if you go on there, I'll update things on there. I'm going to get a bit more interactive on the Facebook. But yeah, as far as making a bow goes, I've made a bow. Making a working bow may be the next project. But yeah, I've made a bow. So it just fell off there, just drawing it. So I think it's because it's not quite central. I'll work on that. Maybe next time I'll work with some steel where I can weld it and put struts in and structure and all sorts of things. Oh, look at that! Can you see it? Can you see it? That fence is dead. Yeah, that fence ain't alive no more. I finished that fence off real good, and I retrieved my arrow. You know what that is? That's the circle of life. It's the circle of life. Both of the bits are falling off, but that's just life. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to go play with my bow and arrow. Literally, singular arrow. Gonna go play with my bow and arrow. I've got my lass in the house. I've got my housemate in the house. I'll get them out. Maybe they want to go. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.